Awesome, man. Thank you. So, by the way, everybody give Michael a round of applause. He helps us every week. He's an awesome dude. He's our assistant and really kind of sets a lot of this stuff up, right? I'm like the dog and pony, right? I do the show, but he sets all the behind the scenes and after effects. So all the emails you get and all the constant reminders and everything, that's definitely Michael behind the scenes. So thank you for that, Mike.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, so today I want to get into, this week I've been working on the brand opportunity. I wanted to talk to you guys about branding and brand development and touch points and so forth and so on. And it's one of my favorite subjects. Obviously, you know, I love branding, right? Like everything you ever see me wearing is branding, right? You know, this is our organization. That's what we are. We're Freedom Coaches. This is my brand, right? Like I tattoo my brand on me, folks. I love branding, right? So, and you know, there was one time I was sitting at a conference and I heard somebody say, they were on the stage and I was talking about brand, and they said, why would you wear anyone else's brand as an entrepreneur or a salesperson, right? And that really kind of hit me because I was already the Kurz team, but, you know, I like to wear Yankee hats and I'm a Giants fan. And, you know, everybody's out there wearing like Gucci and Fendi and this and that and blah, blah. And that stuff's cute. It's nice. It's great for a night out, whatever the case is. But as a salesperson and entrepreneur, which each and every one of you are, why would you even consider wearing another person's brand? Unless you represent that brand. Like, for instance, whatever company you're with, right? Maybe you want to represent that brand. But if you're with that company and you're still an entrepreneur, why not co-brand it instead of just wearing their brand? Does that make sense, guys? Right? And so, you know, the constant turn of a brand is the effect that we have on other people with our brand. And so as I'm writing this course out and I'm thinking about it, I said, man, I'm going to have to split this into two. And I want to split it into two because I really believe that by what we're going to do today and what we're going to talk about today is going to help us really realize the development and the creation of a brand. Some of you have logos, some of you have brands, right? Which, by the way, having a brand is not having a logo. A logo is like 10% of having a brand. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But today, I want to seriously focus on creating the brand and understanding the development and the touch points of the brand. And then next week in part 2, we'll talk about brand delivery and brand implementation, right? Which are two different things. I want you to think about this, right? When I'm an Apple guy, right? Like I've got the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook Pro. Like we're an Apple family. It just is what it is. I feel like every time I get a green bubble text to me, I feel like it's a disease coming to my phone, right? Like, okay, but I'm a blue bubble guy, all right? So what that means to me, though, what the brand means to me is that when I see the Apple and I see the silver or the black matte, right? Their color palette, their logo, what does that make me feel? How does that make me approach that? I instantly look at that product and I say, I believe in that product, right? I believe that that is a worthy product. I believe that it will last me. I believe that it is a well-made product, whatever it is. That's what I believe, right? Air Jordans, you know, you look at Air Jordans, you think of basketball, you think of Michael Jordan, you think of a well-made sneaker, you think of a sneaker that actually you can buy and will hold its value, and you could even potentially resell it for more money. That's the crazy part. It's a freaking shoe, like, you know what I mean? But because the brand is so strong, you have this ability to be able to promote it in such a way, right? What else can we say? Nike, like, you know, okay, so Air Jordans are part of Nike, but if you look at Nike shoes, what does that swoosh make you feel like, right? And the crazy part is we all know swoosh. I could say logo swoosh. I don't have to show it to you. You already know it's this, right? Because we've been watching that forever, right? During Christmas and the holidays, what do polar bears mean to you? Coca-Cola, right? during Christmas and the holidays, what are those horses? What are those pretty horses called? You know what I'm talking about? The Budweiser horses, right? Like these are the things that have been branded. And by the way, these horses, that's not the Budweiser logo. Shoot, if you close your eyes hard enough, you might not even know what the Budweiser logo looks like. But on Christmas time, during the holidays and during the winter, if you turn on the TV and you see those beautiful white horses running down the street, you already know where that commercial is going with that. You already know it's a Budweiser commercial, right? So now, how do we create a brand for ourselves and that speaks to the public in a very specific way? In that way, right? How do I take Freedom Organization as a freedom coach, and how do I make this logo make you feel like if you attended something that this logo had at the front door, you would walk away with some sort of value, right? That's my mission. How do I get this logo to make you feel like you will receive value from anyone wearing this logo as a coach? Okay. So let me share my screen here from my iPad. All right. Michael, you see my screen okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Awesome.
We can
All right,
see
so
it.
this is very awesome. Thank you. So very big topic. We talked about this already. Brand is much more than a logo. Brand is brand, it's brand identity, and it's brand identity design. And so those are the pieces that we're going to get into. And the first thing I want to show you is brand touch points, right? Brand touch points, this little wheel here, I'll take a screenshot of this. I'll send it to you guys, right? But this little wheel here, I thought it was very impressive when I was doing some research, because this wheel here tells you all the things that need to be touched by your brand, right? So for instance, if I have a website, that website needs to be branded and created and developed similar to the way my emails would go out and email signatures would be. Those also, those colors, those brands, those logos, those everything need to be also closely related to any digital marketing that I do and social media presence that I have. Again, colors, I have a blue that's very specific. I know my blue by code, where everyone on my marketing team and the whole team calls it Kurz blue, right? And that blue is very much associated to everything that we do. So our colors are Kurz blue, light gray, white, and black. That is our color palette. And we'll talk more about that later on. But they're very specific to us. So anything that we put out has to fall within that color palette. Okay. Video. When I host a video, am I wearing a red shirt? Never. You will never see me in a red shirt and a red hat in a video promoting, whether it be my real estate team or my coaching company. You'll never see us promoting in those colors, not yellow, not green, right? It's going to be black, white, light gray, and Kurz blue. Those are our colors. And that's how we promote to the world. So when we do conferences, you see conferences on there, you see anything outside of the home, you see broadcasting. If I'm broadcasting through this video right here, or if I'm broadcasting live to social media, if I'm broadcasting on the radio, or if I'm broadcasting on a podcast, all of that stuff kind of has to fall within brand, which is also voice related. And we'll talk about that a little bit too. All your print marketing needs to look very much like your social marketing, right? Your print marketing needs to be so related that it needs to almost look like if I took my social marketing platform and just sent it to print, I could take those print pieces and go run them live, right? Affiliates. Are my affiliates associated with me, and will they respect my brand, right? Content, all the content that I put out, again, has to fall within brand. And now you're thinking, well, content, Dave, content doesn't have color, content doesn't have logos, it's just content, right? Speaking or writing, right? But here's the thing, the message that I put out constantly, for instance, when we start this every single Thursday, we immediately start with, it's a freedom day. It's associated to my brand and it's associated to my touch points because that is our belief. Our belief is that by giving you the appropriate coaching and giving you the proper action activities to take and to be actionable in your process, we're going to allow you the opportunity to build your freedom, whatever that means to you. And so, yes, every Thursday at 11 a.m. is a freedom day. As a matter of fact, you should be waking up in the morning, every single morning, putting your feet on the ground and going, it's a freedom day. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to wake up to what I woke up to. Now let me go create some freedom and let me not think twice about it, right? So now let's dig in a little bit. We talked about logos a little while ago. And you guys are going to see like me looking down a lot. And I apologize for that because my iPad's down here, okay? We talked about logos a little while ago. What do you think the most important part of your logo is? It's how it makes people feel. Now, this is achieved by following all of this, okay? And we'll tap into that in a minute so you can see what we're talking about. But let's just talk about the logo real quick. Let's talk about the font your logo has. Is it something that's unreadable? Is it something that's out of this world? Is it something that not everyone will have access to? I'll be honest with you guys. This logo right here, the Kurz logo, okay? That font we created. That was a mistake. Now we got to live with it because we've used it for so many years. But because that font was something we created, anytime we need to recreate the logo for something else, which by the way, doesn't happen very often anymore, but in the beginning, it was quite a bit of pain in the butt, right? Because we had to ensure that we always had the different file types for our logo and the different sizes and quality always available to us. We can never lose them because somebody would have to sit down and recreate this font. You don't want that. You want something that's easy to understand, easy to create, easy to read. And so that if you went somewhere else and you said, I don't have a copy of my logo, but here it is on a paper, can you recreate it? And they ask you what font that is, you can go ahead and create it pretty simply. Okay. Next piece is colors. If I could spell color, work with me here. So we'll do color palettes, right? Is the color easy to find? Is it easy to use? I mentioned to you that we have a Kurz blue. Our Kurz blue, I know the code. So when I go speak to somebody about making a hat or something like that, or a t-shirt or something of that sense, I could just give them the code and they can run the color palette appropriately. By the way, this is also something you should have in a worksheet that shows your color palettes and how they are to be used, right? Now, again, remember everything that we talk about. Some of you guys are like, dude, I'm a single agent. Like, you know, I'm John Smith team and I'm by myself, right? That's okay, because you can start developing this now and you should be promoting this for the next decade or two, because your logo is not going to get picked up overnight and everybody's going to go, oh my gosh, John Smith team, they're so awesome, right? You have to back it up with a lot of stuff. So let's get into the color palette and then pattern and textures. Let's think about pattern. Sorry, there's my inability to write and coffee. So my patterns and textures, how are they proven? How are they created? Are they easy to find? And can I reuse them in different formats? Okay, these are the things you're thinking about, right? Then photography and animation, right? Photography and animation, how are they associated to your brand? How are they associated to your logo? Now, I'm a big believer in the simplicity of a logo, okay? You see mine, I'll show it to you again, right? You see this, simplicity, right? The first thing I think about when I create a logo is, will I be capable of printing this on anything in the world? If I wanted to tattoo it on myself, can I do that pretty simply? If I wanted to make a t-shirt that's like this t-shirt has like that iron-on stuff, right? Can I make it like that? Easy to do. You know what the toughest one is? Embroidery, right? Can I embroider this logo easily on a hat or a polo or something of that sense? The answer is yes, because we designed it that way. Okay, because we created it that way, yes, it can be embroidered onto a hat, t-shirt. I've got 100 hats with the Kurz logo on it. Got another bunch of hats with the Freedom Organization, Freedom Coaching on there, right? And then, so those are the kinds of things that I think about when it comes to logos. Simplicity is key. When you have logos that have too much stuff going on, flags and bursting bombs and, you know, fireworks and all this stuff behind it, it makes it less capable of reproducing. And we want reproduction with our logos. We want everyone wearing our logos. Like when you get through these 2 classes, your mission is going to be to create your brand. And then I want to see, like 2-3 weeks from now, I want to look in the video, and I want to see everybody wearing their own brand. Just everybody wearing their own brand. Hat, t-shirt, wristband, I don't care what you do. You don't have to go as far as tattooing it, but you know. And then next piece. So illustration, obviously very important, right? Okay. Sound, we'll talk about that too. All right. Layout and tone. Because if I came to this class today and I spoke to you guys like this, it would not fall very simply within my brand, because I never speak to you like this. Does that make sense to y'all? Right? Some of you, that's your brand. That's what you do, right? But for me, I'm hyper, I'm on coffee, I've got 100 things going on in my head. I'm doing jumping jacks and push-ups before we even meet, right? I try to get the blood flowing because I want to be excited throughout the process, okay? Now, let's go into purpose. Okay? Your purpose. What is the reason for your existence? Now, this is a very easy question, by the way. So those of you, I'm going to give it like 60 seconds, but I want to see you guys type in the chat what you believe is your business reason. I don't want to hear, I am here to serve the world, right? Like, what is your reason, the reason for your company's existence? What is the reason for your existence? Give me something, anybody. I want to see it in the chat room. Growth and building relationships, awesome. That's great. Anybody else? Give me something. Not gonna lie, money. I love it, dude. That's fine. Help everyone own a home. That's awesome, right? See, everybody's on different missions to create multiple flows of income by helping people achieve their goals. Awesome. Help first-time home buyers witness the dream of home ownership. Loving this, dude. Loving this, right? This is the reason why we do this. Listen, and by the way, somebody said, I think it was Danielle, somebody said money. Well, that's cool too. Everyone's drive is completely different. Some people want to feed the poor. Some people want to make money to help the people that feed the poor. Does that make sense? Right? So, and by the way, everyone hits the same mission, right? Every one of us is either doing mortgages or real estate. Every one of us is on the same mission. And by the way, in the process, if you read all of it, if your main goal is money, you're still helping people own a home. If you're helping people own a home, you're still going to have the consequence of earning money, right? And so what drives you is what's most important. And what drives you is going to help you understand the reason for your existence in this business. It's also going to help you develop your brand, right? So we come and we create these two. We have cultural tension. Okay. And then we have a brand's best self. Right. And when we combine who we are as a brand's best self into the cultural tension of the area that we're trying to attack, that's where our big ideas come in. Yes, I'm a great speller, guys, chill. All right. And so when we think about that, we move right into positioning and how we position ourselves and our brand. So who's your product for? Go ahead and answer in the chat box. Who is your product for? And don't write everyone, by the way, right? Who is your product for? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it luxury homeowners? Is it investors? Okay, somebody wrote investors right away. It's awesome, right? Who is your product for? Now, first time and SBO, okay. Buyers and sellers, cool, that's easy. Foreign nationals, I love that, right? Okay, so now we understand who we are and what our brand's best self is, but now who is this product for is going to help us guide into the next step, which is our competition. Now, do we believe that by looking at our competition, right, just answer yes or no, do we believe that by understanding and knowing our competition and how we should compete with them allows us the opportunity to stand out? 100%. Everybody's writing yes, right? And so here's something I want to show you, just a little illustration, right? If we had a line here, okay, and this is your competitor, right? That line represents your competition, okay? I promise you that if you study them hard enough, you're going to find holes in their business, just as much as they can find holes in yours. Your job is to come in here and copy this line, knowing your competition, right? But then what if you came in here and you filled the gaps? Would you then be more competitive? Yes or no? %. Now, if you're able to fill the gaps, right, which by the way, the only way you understand and know the gaps is by studying the market you're trying to service. These large companies like Nike and all these other places, right, they pay these massive companies who basically put a team of 50 to 60 people together to make phone calls and study a market. They cold call. They say, hey, just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. You guys ever receive a survey by email, right? These things happen for a reason. And that reason is so that the business can understand the market even better and fulfill gaps. The way that you can study the market is by simply asking the community, right, what's missing. This is the most incredible door knocking opportunity, by the way, you will ever find, right? I knock on the door. They answer the door. They say, hey, how you doing? My name is David Kurz. I'm a local real estate agent in the area. I wanted to ask you just one question. Do you own or lease this home? I own it. Fantastic. And who is your real estate agent? You know what the number one answer is? I can't remember. Okay, cool. What do you feel that they did really, really well? They did A, B, and C, okay? And what do you think was the one thing you wish they would have done better? And you write that down. If you were able to canvass an entire neighborhood of 100 to 200 homes, I guarantee that you would find some trends. Probably number one trend would be pick up the phone. Right? Because clients call, this is something that drives me insane, by the way. Clients call their realtors and realtors look at the phone and go, Do I have to take this phone call? Yeah. That person that said money, you better be picking up every daggone phone call, because every call is money. Every call is helping somebody into a home. Every call is helping that first-time home buyer. Every call is helping people realize the dream of home ownership, right? That's the craziness, right? And so once you understand what's missing in that market, right, you get to fill that void. If you get to fill that void, it changes everything about your marketing plan. Hear me. What if you sent out postcards that said, I pick up my phone every day, no matter the time, no matter the hour, because you understood this was the one piece that everyone spoke about. What if somebody said, what if the common thing was, you know, the realtor didn't really understand the neighborhood as much as I would have hoped, and I learned a lot of things after. How crazy would it be if you put out a newsletter about the neighborhood and you door knocked it, mailed it, and did some social media videos about it, and you stay consistent with it? Hey guys, how you doing? This is David Kurz, your favorite Tamiami realtor, right? See what I did there, right? Okay. Over the last few years, Tamiami has grown bigger than we've ever imagined, with the Florida International University just east of us, the Turnpike 2 minutes east of us, the Florida Everglades 10 minutes west of us, Dolphin Mall and freaking Dayland Mall and all these other. If I could just do videos like that consistently and point it out, right? You know, Belen School is right here. It's a private school. Make a whole video about that, right? Go to Belen, ask them if they'd like to be interviewed, speak to the principal, right? Just amazing opportunities that you have only and only if you understand what's missing. But if you don't understand what's missing, how can you develop your brand around it? Right? Now, let's have some fun, right? Now you take this opportunity and you say, for target market, for target market, like for Tamiami, Florida, for Miami, for first-time home buyers, for people hoping to realize and live the dream, right? Okay. Brand. In my case, the Kurz team or Freedom Organization Coaching and Consulting, right? Is the, and then you have point of difference. Among all. This is a very simple statement that you can put in your Instagram bio, in your Facebook bio, in your postcards that go out, in your flyers that go out, in your marketing pamphlets that go out, in your listing packages that go out, in the bottom of your email signature. This falls within your brand position, right? For Tamiami, Florida, or Tamiami, Miami, Florida, the Kurz team is the most knowledgeable in the area among all. That calls people's attention. Because when people want to sell their houses, they want somebody who knows the area, right? And guess what? When that buyer's agent comes to your listing and that buyer sees their agent doesn't even know the area and they still buy that house, and you do a great job at communicating consistently, guess what, guys? Your brand stands out and you get that business. Okay. Now I know what you're thinking here. How could I keep communication consistent if that wasn't my client? Well, see, our client, our buyer or seller, agent relationship ends at closing. We're not contracted to them. That's why for us, it's more important than anything in the world to maintain a relationship. And we talked about that last week. So what does that mean? That means that if you were to stop by that seller, that new buyer's house a week or two later and check up on them and see how they're doing, that's not against the rules and regulations. Deal's over. They're no longer represented or need representation. So develop the relationship. I knew an agent that did this so consistently that he would ask, he got a call one time and the person said, yeah, I'm looking to sell my house. And he said, okay, great. Just curious, because he had it in his CRM that it wasn't his client, right? And he asked him, just curious, why didn't you call your agent to help you out with this? And the person paused and said, oh shit, I thought you were my agent. Think about that for a minute, right? His brand was strong enough and his relationships were strong enough to make the person over a couple years believe that he was the actual agent that sold them the house. How crazy is that, right? So when we do this conductive research, you can play with this and add comparison market areas. Right? Because, and you can add a reason. So you can end it at all, or you can continue and you can say the most knowledgeable of among all in this area because we live here, right? Or something like that. It could be so crazy simple. But if you could play this game and understand it well, then you're going to build a brand associated to that communication, right? All right, so let's get into this real quick because I know we're going to run out of time if I don't play this. Conduct your research. We've talked about this over and over and over again. Conduct your research. Know what's missing. Okay? Fill the gaps. Do you realize that how much more important this was than logo and color? Is logo and color important? Yes. But all of these pieces is what ties into the entire thing, right? So now, I want to tap into this real quick with you. Personality. What personality would your logo have if it was a person? I know it's a tough one to think about, but let's say your hobby is biking, your hobby is motorcycles, your hobby is, I don't know, golf, right? Think about realtors who focus on golf course homes. Do they wear suits to their appointments? No, they wear golf pants, golf shoes. They wear, polo, the nice golf shirts, right? Golf polo, logo might be on there. A lot of times they might even wear a nice little golf hat, right? They actually look like they're going to play golf every single day. Chances are they probably do because they're selling the houses on that golf course and they want to meet people consistently who are on that golf course, right? So what personality does your logo, do you think their logo might have a golf ball on it or maybe, right? Do you think there might be something in the conversations that they have and the research that they do that are going to be associated to golf? Yes, 100%, right? So what is your personality and how are you selling yourself? International, right? If you're selling international, do you put an international kind of feel, international conversations, international content? Do the things that I talk about, are they golf related or international related? Are they motorcycle related, right? All of these things matter. So I want you guys to really dig in, okay? If you don't have a logo, think about what your logo would look like. If you don't have a color palette, choose 2 to 4 colors that you will forever use on your logo, content, backgrounds, emails, everything else, right? Mass emails, everything that you do will fall within those colors. You got postcards going out, it will fall within those colors, okay? I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a clue. Always put a black or white as one of your colors. You can put them both, right? But always try to put a black or white in your colors, because in some of the marketing materials and marketing pieces that you would do, you'd have a limited color palette to choose from. And because of that, you always know that there's going to be a black, white, blue, green. Those are your basic colors will be there, right? So if you choose, like I have my Kurz blue, which means I can't use a regular blue too often. So if I do a postcard that only gives me basic colors, I'll end up going with the black, white, and gray. Okay, and then maybe my logo is what carries the blue. So that's why white is important to me, because my blue against the black background gets lost. But my blue against a white background is very strong and positive, and it's outgoing. Plus, I chose blue because blue has a message, and that message is, I am trustworthy. So when you think about your colors, think about that too, right? Oftentimes people say red is almost like a stop, like a negative color, because we're so used to stop signs and blood and things of that nature. It's not necessarily true. Red is also excitement. Red is also extravagant. Red is also exuberant and overboard, right? And it could fall within luxury. Red is a great luxury color. Doesn't always have to be black and gold and silver, right? It's just all dependent on how you use it. Think about your graphics. Think about your professional photos and how you'll be dressed for them, right? So if you choose red as one of your brand colors, maybe wearing something red would be beneficial to you, right? In your photos, okay? Or even if you didn't, let's say you wore a nice black suit or a white dress and you had a red background or a blue background, whatever it is that you choose, this is what I want you to think about as well, okay? Then I want you to think about how the above makes people feel. And one of the greatest testers is creating this and then putting it out on social media and getting a constant feeling. Now, let me forewarn you ahead of time. People will criticize or people will suggest things simply because they just don't know how to say, hey, that's really nice. So people will say, oh, the N is a little too long, or it's too wide, or I don't like the color, or take those things with a grain of salt, but find the common factors. And you're going to find common pieces that make people feel good. And actually, don't ask people, hey guys, tell me if you like my new logo, rather than go on there and say, hey, looking at this logo for a real estate business, how does it make you feel as a consumer? Really make people think about it. And more educated people will comment on that post. Okay. Now, once you have an understanding for that, I want you guys to develop one piece of content. And then I want you guys to create a short bio about your company and you. A short bio is honestly 4 sentences. It's meant to fit on your on a blurb under a photo. It's meant to fit in your Instagram profile and your short bio. It's meant to be in these places. And I want your bio to talk about the feeling that people should have, as well as what holes you're filling in your market. Okay. Now, I need you guys to do this by next week, because next week we're going to talk about implementation. So we're going to talk about delivery and implementation. Okay. Now, that being said, if you create the perfect logo in the next 24 hours and you already got market feedback and you already got market holes filled and you've already figured this out, please don't post it yet. Come back next week. And when I mean posted is change all your shit to the new logo. Come back next week and let's come up with a plan for delivery and implementation that will help people have a wow factor to your representation. If you already have a logo in effect, you know possibly some of these things might be missing, like the holes you're filling in the market, and how you put it out there, and your content piece, which, by the way, let's talk about this content piece that I meant to do. So you got your bio, 3 to 4 sentences. And then I want you to create one content piece. Okay. That content piece should be 2 to 3 paragraphs. And it should be very much focused on what you and your logo represent. Somebody said, I work with investors because I want to help them make more money, and I want to make more money in the long run too. Well, then maybe you should write 2 to 3 paragraphs on how to figure out the ROI on an investment property, and what the best methods to purchasing a property are when you're an investor and you need to buy under market value, and things to look for when looking at investment properties versus looking for a regular home. First-time home buyers, write 2 to 3 paragraphs on how first-time home buyers should prepare for the purchase of a home. Right? Somebody works with military veterans, write 2 to 3 paragraphs on how military veterans or active duty military personnel can utilize their VA loans to purchase properties, turn them into investments, flip them or hold them, and create a long-term gain. Guys, there's a ton of opportunity here for you to create something very much built around how you do your business. Okay, so I'll open up the mic right now because it's 11:46. So we're doing really good on time right now. Does anyone have any questions? You can type it in or unmute yourself. Be happy to chat with you. All right, I hope everybody really enjoyed the training. If you enjoyed the training, go ahead and type it in the chat box. I always love to know, because sometimes at the end of a training, it gets very quiet and I'm not really sure if I delivered, and I want to be sure that I'm delivering for you guys every single week, okay? Somebody wrote, if you have a separate business, should they look similar? Doesn't always have to be. Actually, it doesn't always have to be, because the 2 businesses represent 2 very different things, right? So you could see that we use Kurz Blue for the Kurz team, and we have the Kurz star, and we have the Kurz, and the font and everything. But the Freedom Company, our coaching company, has a very different font, and it has very different. We created the arc as in, protecting your freedom, right? So that was the whole purpose behind our logo. Okay, so it doesn't always have to look the same. They have 2 different personalities. If I have a twin brother, my twin brother and I are going to be 2 different people, right? Thank you, Nancy. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Carol. That's awesome. So I'll see you guys next week, every single Thursday. Guys, the same link, same bat channel, every Thursday.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was going through, I was going through through LPT, we have this Canva website that we can use. And I was actually like creating something. There is a lot of templates that people can use. I don't know if they want to open.
Canva is a great tool. I use Canva too, and I use it for, honestly, we use it for all our businesses. The new real estate.
Do you mind if I share my screen so people can see what's available?
No, I just out of respect for time, I want to make sure that they can do it. I'll type it in the group. Let me see, canva.com.
Yeah, it's free and there is a lot of choices.
It's free, or you could get the upgraded version, and it's like a whole $12 a month, guys. So it's not out of this world, right? But it is a fantastic tool. It's a great way to create marketing material. I use it for everything. We use it for the New You Real Estate Conference. We use it for the Kurz team. We use it for Freedom Organization. We use it for masterminds. We create any flyers or graphics or anything that you see in the emails that you guys receive with the graphics. All of that is very much made on Canva. So it's a great tool.
Yeah, and they have really good printing. I've ordered stuff directly from there and it comes in like 3 days.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, anyone else? All right, awesome. Next week, delivery, implementation. We'll get knee deep into it. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, guys. We'll see you there.